The views and opinions expressed by tonight's guests and topic of discussion do not necessarily represent the official policy or position of S4, its hosts, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with this broadcast. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of this broadcast or podcast without express written consent of S4 is strictly prohibited. Listener discretion is advised.
Because we don't understand how life formed, it is difficult to estimate this probability. The likelihood of a complex molecule like DNA being created by random collisions of atoms in a primordial ocean is fantastically small. In an infinite universe, it would happen in some places, but they would be very far apart. If we want to find advanced intelligent life, our best bet is to listen for radio signals.
Look up to the stars and the forests that surround. Do you see them? Do you hear them? Are they there? SpacedOutRadio.com presents S4 with Forest Moon Paranormal's Eric Cooper and friends. Also, take the time to join the Forest Moon Paranormal Facebook group.
I knew I should have made a left turn at Albuquerque.
Conspiracy, Area 51, Dogman, Ghosts, Cover-Ups, UFOs. The hidden will reveal itself.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Buckle up, space travelers. It's time to go live on S4 with Eric Cooper.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to S4 with Eric Cooper, broadcasting live from the beautiful mountains of Concrete, Washington. Tonight we are having our monthly team show. Tonight on our panel we have Eric Markham, our FMP scientist, R. Keith Andrews, astrologist and alien specialist, Michael Hall of UFO I-Team, Donna Cunningham from the Astral Team, Bonnie Smith from the Astral Team, Sam Wynn of Hunter Moon Paranormal, myself, Corey Reese, and your host, Forest Moon Paranormal Zone, Mr. Eric Cooper.
Hey, good evening, S4ians and all of our local listeners on 90.1 FM. Always great because they'll be hearing this show in about a month. But hey, yeah, it's in a month it might actually be sunny out. But yeah, now it's raining. I got to clarify something though. Sam is not just Hunter Moon Paranormal; she's also on our aftercare team, which is why we need to have an aftercare presence in here as well. And, you know, how's everyone doing tonight? We got some interesting information to put out, some interesting updates as we go along. Because first we're going to hear from the team and hear what caseload looks like and yeah, what kind of cases we've been doing as far as, obviously no names, no locations, but are we dealing with demons? Are we dealing with aliens? What are we dealing with the most of? So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Good. Real good.
Really good.
Just spiffy.
We're dealing with a variety of everything right now. A large volume of it, too.
I think alien abduction's actually picking up.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think it's picking up near as much as the abductees are coming out asking for help.
That was going to be my
what I think is
follow-up
happening.
question.
Yeah, true.
Far more accurate, I think.
But you got to understand with that, these are the abductees that didn't just have abductions in childhood, but they're still having them today, which is what makes a difference. Because sometimes they stop abducting. I don't know why. Maybe Keith can enlighten that. But some abductees, they just stop taking, and that's great for them. But then there's the ones that have been taken since childhood, and that was 20, 30 years ago, and they're still being taken over and over again today. So what's your perception of that, Keith? Is there a reason they're taken so frequently, whereas some of them get stopped taken?
Well, the ones that get stopped because of the array of research that they're doing and the number of different teams that are working, many times the stopping is because they finished doing whatever finished whatever experiment or whatever research they were doing, and therefore didn't need to continue the abduction. That's your most common reason.
Right.
One of the things that can lead to that is if one of their research, shall we say, research subjects that they were working with in conjunction passed away, it may botch the entire research program, and therefore they just drop it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta say, case-wise, we average, it was 5 for a while, now we're probably averaging about 3 to 4. But today, we're right now juggling about 9 cases. To include 2 that are being sent over to Four Corners Paranormal at Tessa. One we've actually got Raven picking up here locally to get evidence on. We have one in the East Coast that we're actually going to be doing the boots on ground there. And I mean, it just, today was just a crazy day. And so astrologically, I got to ask, is there a reason astrologically?
Not from an astrological standpoint, but there certainly is from a societal evolutionary standpoint that they are picking people up on a highly regular basis right now. And that's because of what is going on this planet, both on a societal standpoint and the subsequent, shall we say, global natural disaster standpoint. They're looking for the impact on the subquantum levels of how of how mankind is treating itself, as to how it relates to society, to the planet, to the impact that is taking place on the neural net. Because you got to understand, from a xenosociological standpoint, this is an extremely exciting time.
I don't know about exciting, but yeah.
That's true.
Coming from our perspective, coming from our perspective, not so exciting. It just makes our workload even more intense. But exciting to the extent that all the things that have been covered up are now going to be opened up.
Oh yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. I mean, things are absolutely changing from that standpoint. They're absolutely changing from a intriguing standpoint, the difficult part, of course, is from human standpoint, certainly this is a, shall we say, trying time. But from a civilization, evolutionary standpoint, you couldn't ask for more intrigue. It's it's akin to watching a volcano explode from close up for humans. That is right before the bubble burst. For a seismologist, that is an extremely exciting period. For the local flora and fauna, not so much.
Well, or the emergency response team.
Exactly.
So, on the expansive side of things, we've actually come up with the first responders presentation to try to get first responders to, instead of saying everything psychological, we're going to turn our head against the paranormal, kind of open their eyes to what the paranormal expounds to, and offer our hand that we're here to help them. So we're trying to get the clients that need the help they need, rather than being sent to a psych ward. Some of them, yes, they are psychiatric. I get that. But not all of them. So if we can get them on board with, okay, let's analyze this. We saw shadows. We heard knocks. The laundry list. When we first walked into this domestic violence case, for example, let's call in FMP and let them take a look. That would be the ideal thing to do. Are we all still here?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Eric, Eric, this is Michael, and I just wanted to piggyback on what you were mentioning with the emergency response idea, because I think that's just the way to go nowadays. I've mentioned in the past that one of my clients, Peter Davenport from the National UFO Reporting Center, made it a point to put his hotline phone number in every police department, every sheriff's department office that he could, as well as the FAA towers, just so they would have somebody to refer people to. It's not like they're going to be, specifically saying that we recommend you go to FMP, but if they're, being persistent, these people with issues out there, at least they'll have someone that they can either give them a card or a phone number as a referral.
Exactly, and then and it was you that threw the thought in our head to do get the presentation ready, so that ideally, if the first responding agencies are on board with it, they can say, "Hey, come give us this presentation so we know what to look for." And if we find these, these paranormal issues, then we can call you guys or another emergency response team in. Which I'm really not too sure there's any other emergency response-oriented teams out there. There's a few, but they're very far between, because most just want that cool picture and that EVP. And that's just the sad reality.
As far as I know, I think we're the only one in this area.
There's a couple other ones, but a lot of the teams out there that do astral, they astral with different, they don't do it for clients. They go to locations to heal them. And that's great too, but our mission is different. There are emergency teams. There's a couple that I won't mention that do the same thing we do, but just not astrally. And they keep their teams quiet. The ones that find them do find them or refer to them as they're supposed to, and we get actual referrals from them as well on occasion. So that's something new the team is looking at. We have, May is going to be a real busy month. We've got Mark's birthday coming up this weekend, along with a boots on ground investigation / training along with UFOI team and the Canadian Ghost crew out of British Columbia with Mike Morin. So that's going to be a fun day, as well as a mission. That's more of a technological mission than anything.
And don't forget.
But that will be our first.
Don't forget
What's
that evening we're going to have Markham's birthday show live. Everybody from the studio.
Yep. Now that's next Saturday. Next Saturday's S4 will be Markham's birthday. He doesn't know it yet, but yeah, he's going to be at the live studio and
well, you know, he's
having his birthday on the air.
I know it now.
Exactly. Surprise.
Oh boy.
It's okay, Mark. You know, you're just getting old. That's why you don't know it's your birthday.
Feel the
yeah,
love.
Exactly.
Pay for that one a little later.
And we now also have a GoFundMe set up so that we can start getting some of the 4,000 out of the hole that we're looking at for all the events that we plan on this year.
We got a bunch of a buttload of overtime coming in May and June, so I'll pony up that 1,500 I pledged.
No, that would be awesome.
Wow, great.
That would, because that would lock in Paracon. That'd take care of everything on Paracon. I gotta say, Tripp's bringing up a good point. Will there be a UFO stargazing night? Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, Tripp. Thank you. August 18th. Let me clarify this. Yes, we are doing a fundraising Bigfoot walk / stargazing night. And that is going to be in conjunction with UFOI team. It's going to start out during the day with a Bigfoot lecture and a walk in the woods, what to look for. And it's a camp out. It's $50 a person, $80 a couple, kids under 10 are free. And contact me directly and we'll get you locked in. Space is limited. It's only 30 people that we can have on site. Very limited site, very family friendly. Meals provided. And I'm glad Tripp brought that up because that was actually the next thing on my list to talk about. Perfect timing, Tripp. Get out of my head. Anyway.
Bring the children. Make sure you bring kids because not only are they free, but they're really good bait.
They are. We can have a child gifting site. There we go. Joking.
I have one I can offer up. Just kidding.
Make sure you put rope around their waist so you can tug it back in.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You do realize you guys are twisted, eh?
Like you got any room to speak there, Keith?
Hey, I'm not a little twisted. Trust me on this.
Oh, and so May 26th, we do kick off the summer. We're gonna have a very busy summer. We will have at the Upriver Farmers Market will be a very heavy FMP presence. Kicking off the 26th with the Wilderness Survival class at the market. And unfortunately, I don't have my class list in front of me. But don't miss that. I know in June I'm doing a disaster preparedness class. Hold on, I can pull that up real quick while we're talking. If I can, and I really suck when it comes to multitasking here. But we do now have a Paracon sponsorship application for any businesses out there that want to sponsor FMP and or the Paracon. That application will be available soon, and we do have different categories that you can sponsor us at. Whether you just want to do Paracon or you want to do FMP in general for the year. So things are moving right along and growing, and I think our caseload kind of shows that.
Definitely.
So how many demons? Oh, I can't wait for you to move here so you can be our scientist boots on ground.
Yeah, I'm taking steps toward that.
Excellent. And now I want to get the team in here, and go category by category. How many demon cases did we have this month? Are they going down? They're going up? They're staying about the same? Not people saying they have demons, but actual demonic cases.
Yeah, if we go by what they say, everything's a demon a lot of the times because they don't know what to expect out of the paranormal. But no, I think they're about the same. Not too many, not a down. We have maybe one minor one today.
Right, slow, strong entities more than anything.
More ETs, a couple ET cases. That's just what I know of that I'm handling, working on.
Okay, and keep talking.
Oh, John.
We just had basically a strong entity case going on, and they're getting more and more complicated. You know, it's not something that we can just go in and do a quick clear anymore. We're having to get more in depth, and there's just a whole lot more to deal with, and it's taking more steps to get to the completion of it.
True.
Yeah, that's the common theme is they are getting more complicated. And, you know, let's talk about the veil for a second because, you know, people talk about the veil. They talk about the veil getting thinner at Halloween or, you know, October 31st and again in June. Is there a veil? Is it getting thinner? And why is it getting thinner now? Keith?
Number one, no. It's actually not getting thinner. What's happening is people are becoming more aware, and more people are therefore focusing on it, generating a higher level of interest, a higher level on this end, on this side, making it easier for them to penetrate it from the other side. It's a question of relative power availability.
So are we going to see a difference? I mean, I'm going to throw this out there. FMP has never seen a difference. We have the same caseload regardless whether it's Halloween or June 18th or, you know, whenever. But overall, are people going to see a difference, you know, during Halloween, or is it going to stay like it is now?
The overall people aren't likely to see much of a difference. However, you guys are likely to change, to see a difference in the type of people reporting. Okay. Because you're likely to get a, shall we say, more skeptical and therefore more agitated reporting crew. You know, reporting client base that are so far outside of their realm. You're likely going to be dealing with a lot more panic cases than just, well, that was kind of trippy.
Right, because what we're seeing now is a lot of panic cases, which, you know, and we got some that want more evidence than anything, and that's fine. We send in a team just to collect evidence, and then we'll go in later and do a clearing. You know, we have modes of handling those kind of cases as well. So we'll get back to that in a second. In June 16th is disaster preparedness. For those that are writing these things down, July 7th, we are actually doing a Paranormal 101 at the Upriver Farmers Market. And we actually have a lot of college students who are interested or excited about hearing about paranormal, so that might actually be a full class. We'll see. The 21st of July, we also have Bigfoot, another presentation. August 11th, we have UFO and alien abduction. And then, of course, August 18th are Bigfoot and Skywatch. September 8th, we have active shooter and terrorist response. And October 6th, winter preparedness. And, of course, I'll be going to the Caribou Paracon as well, the week after ours, which is September 22nd. And Paracon is looking awesome. We have approximately 7 or 8 vendors that we're just waiting for them to lock in, but we've sent out about 7 or 8 of the applications for vendor Paracon people. So, going to be a big event, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite successful.
Well, the venue is one closer to the freeway in a much bigger location, so looking forward to it.
Well, and if we can get a little better advertising out this year, especially too, we're likely to bring in more people, especially now that we know a few more places to hit that have shown some interest, such as the college and a couple other spots. So it's very likely we could actually have quite a bit larger crowd than we've had in the past.
Yeah, and that should help immensely. I mean, let's face it, the more visibility, the better off you are.
Yep.
And the more education. And the more education we get out to the public.
Absolutely.
And that's the bottom line. That's the main reason to have a Paracon, is just to educate the public that, yes, the paranormal is real, very real. And the things that you're seeing doesn't mean you're crazy. You're not crazy. Not by any stretch of the imagination. That's usually the second thing clients say when they're on the phone or in chat or whatever, is, you're going to think I'm crazy. And I'm like, no, not really.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
Well, Bull,
so I know,
I'm totally crazy.
I got a clean bill of health. My shrink said I was okay.
So I'm glad I'm on spring break. I will start emergency planning class on May 7th and start my bachelor's program. And so looking forward to that. Our caseload slam actually came into perfect time because being on spring break, I can focus on that and other FMP events and whatnot. And Tripp is in a chat room saying he's got papers.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're certifiable, Tripp? Oh. So, let's bring up abduction, because abduction, I do think, is going to increase. Maybe not abductions themselves, but I think more and more people, with the political climate that we're in right now, is going to make more people comfortable about talking about it.
And that I absolutely agree with. With some of the sociological things that are taking place on this planet and the new doors that governments are opening, quite frankly, it's becoming, I guess the best way to put it is, acceptable to look at the possibility of having been abducted or having a spirit show up in your house.
Right. Now, I got sent a picture of a UFO about an hour ago that happened over Kennewick, Washington. Do you know anything about that one, Michael?
No, I haven't heard about that one from Peter Davenport yet, but they actually have a photo, huh?
Yeah. I can't pull it up right now, but I'll get it over to you. And I'm curious if New Forks heard about that one yet. I'm sure they have it. I'd be curious how many witnesses to that one.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, that is close, of course, to the Army test range over there, and of course the Yakima Indian Reservation. There's a lot of hotbed activity over in that area, so I'd be excited to see that one. Peter Davenport at the National UFO Reporting Center literally gets those phone calls minutes after the event happens. So I would imagine he's got, if you go to his website, I bet he's got something up there already on it.
Good possibility, because I know, he's always on it. Speaking of which, we need to get him to Paracon. I'll get with him, or you can get with him about coming to visit this year, and we'll try to get him in as a speaker next year. Because he'd be great. It would.
Hey, if you can get Peter Davenport to speak this year, put him in my slot. I would give up my. No, I'd say I would give up my slot if it meant Peter, because he's, that's a 4-star, guest as compared to me. So yeah.
Oh no, we
put him in my slot.
No, we need a scientist in there. We could actually feasibly squeeze him in anyway. I'll have to talk to my logistic expert about that one.
Is he?
Yeah, she's not paying attention. She's scowling behind the couch.
Hi, Lizzie.
That's a long enough day. I'm sure we could make it happen one way or another.
So we are looking at an hour per speaker this year, and we are closing the doors at 7 so we can wrap up and get ready for VIP roundtable. And I'm looking through my notes.
Oh, don't do that. That'll just get you organized again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, fortunately this year, the venue has actually got a real nice upstairs kitchen dining area, so we're going to be able to do it all in the same place. Be able to have all the food prepped up and be able to seat everybody upstairs in that area, and should be a great round table this year.
And also, for those that may be listening that want to come and vend, we do have an early bird pricing for vendors at $25 right now until June 1st. By August 1st, it goes up to $30, and it goes up in $5 increments from there. So we're always looking for vendors. And like I said, I think we have 7 just about locked in now.
Great.
Well, congratulations on that.
Well, I'm excited about, we have a complete shop coming in, bringing their stuff out of Tacoma. And then we have a jewelry maker that's making Bigfoot and alien jewelry. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to bring. Okay. So, anything new on the alien front, Keith?
Well, the biggest thing is quite literally the excitement that's going on with what's happening, but there is also an increase in their efforts to get the message out to people, to get the message out to the people of this planet, by quite literally bypassing the governments and the corporations to get people to start actually working with each other instead of fighting with each other because of the increase in the damage that's being done to the neural net and subsequently to planetary stability. What people aren't aware of, what most people on this planet are not aware of, is the amount of damage that the conflict in the area, and this is whether we're talking local area or global, the conflicts that are happening between people are getting out of hand and creating massive tectonic and atmospheric instability, an increase in it. So the off-worlders, what they're doing is increasing the amount of people they're picking up and the memory recall that is being left behind so people can get the message back to the ones down here. I keep hearing people talk about the off-worlders coming to try and wipe out the planet, and they're doing everything but. The thing that I find fascinating is the crossover where some of the off-worlders and some of the ancient races are figuring out how to connect with the spirit realm in order to get the spirits to start doing exactly the same thing. And rest assured, it's a lot harder to abduct the spirit than it is a physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're starting to do more with. Are they doing more with just non-physical downloads than they are actual abduction?
Not exactly downloads. There's a very big difference between a download and a message. But yes, there's a lot more memory recovery is what's happening. Where Go ahead.
I'm not sure what the information was I got or what it did, but I definitely know last week I had something. It was like having an electronic device go off inside my head. There was a noise. There was the electronic noise and this feeling of a presence, but it wasn't coming into my ears, and I wasn't asleep. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was hallucinating, and it wasn't tinnitus.
No, but that is what what is classified as a download. And in a case like that, when you try and remember it, quite literally focus on slowing the speed of it down, because the reason you're getting that buzz is because it's coming in too fast for your brain to focus to cross-reference, to translate. If you focus on literally slowing it down, you'll be able to make out what it's saying.
Yeah, it was weird. It just sort of it happened. It was like a burst. It's kind of hard to describe. In retrospect, it was just like a little sound grenade going off inside my head. And it was like something I had never encountered before. I knew it was a new thing. It was something I'd never experienced before.
Well, the trick is, do you by any chance have any inkling as to how to actually meditate, how to slow your mind down?
I've been trying. Yeah, I've actually been working with candle meditation and breathing meditation, and I'm actually getting some progress.
Okay, focus on the instant of that burst when you're slowing it down. And what you'll find happen is, first of all, it goes from being a burst to kind of a buzz. In other words, the wavelength gets longer. Okay, and you slow it down enough, and you'll actually be able to pull it apart. But have a pencil handy, because it's likely going to come in with either odd words or odd symbols that just pop into your head. You want to be able to write them down.
Okay, Sam, you've been quiet. How you been doing on aftercare?
Aftercare for myself has been pretty slow. Most of the cases have been West Coast cases, so I've been out of the loop.
Okay. Are you excited about aftercare?
Oh, absolutely. Every time I see the chat come up, I'm ready to do a case.
And it's a matter of getting Astral in, get the case wrapped up so that aftercare can take over.
Yes.
And of course, Astral is always on standby if they have to go back in. But once aftercare takes over, then it's a matter of getting them the education, getting them shielded, teaching them how to protect, teaching them how to clear the house, things of that nature.
And just letting the client know that we're there.
Exactly. And that's why we developed aftercare, so that Astral didn't get overworked, which that didn't work because now we're slammed. But it's okay. We always manage.
Yeah.
We always manage.
Absolutely. Kind of a quiet night.
It is.
It's been a gangbusters day.
I'm receiving some samples that just came down.
I think just about everybody's a little tired this evening is probably what the deal is a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still trying to pick pace back up. Tried another wonderful case of near fatal heart attack yesterday. It kind of throws you off track a bit.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah. That'd be my pause button.
Yeah.
But no, I'm always up for a case.
Oh, most definitely. Michael, how's the UFOI team doing?
Well, we're doing really well and getting very busy. Matter of fact, I have some news to share with the panel tonight. We actually got a call just recently from our local Everett Herald. The local mainstream media has decided to do a feature article on the UFO I-Team, and I tell you what, it kind of blew me away when I got that phone call because even 6 months ago, I would have said that would never happen. You know, the local newspaper calling us to find out what's going on in the UFO field and the disclosure process. But I think what's going on is ever since December 16th of last year, when the New York Times finally came out with an actual article that was, confirming the existence of UFOs, with interviews with the Pentagon and the Department of Defense officials, all of a sudden the mainstream media is dropping their giggle factor, and they are actually trying to find information about what's going on. So I got the call 2 days ago from the reporter that's going to do the story, and I initially got the impression from her that she was just kind of calling to feel us out, to see if we're for real. Are we a joke? Do we really take this seriously? And so I spent the next 20 minutes on the phone with her, kind of red-pilling her as a reporter, telling her about, the highly educated folks we have in the group. We've got PhDs, we've got, master-level, psychologists. I'm an attorney myself, and she's just going, "You're kidding. I can't believe that all these people are interested in this thing." I said, "Yeah," I said, and most of us are experiencers to boot. And she goes, "You're kidding me." She asked me, she said, "Are you an experiencer yourself?" And I said, "Heck yeah." I'm talking missing time. I'm talking, scoop marks. I'm talking the whole schmagolian. And so she all of a sudden got very excited about the idea that she was going to do, hopefully, a serious article about this whole idea. So things are happening that would have never happened 6 months ago.
That's awesome. Most of us don't wear tinfoil.
Yeah, no, they've upgraded. Now you use light tin.
Oh, now I know why it wasn't working. Thank you. See, that's what I mean. You guys need to keep me up to date.
Hey, well, we just like seeing you in your tinfoil.
What? What?
I would much rather wear the tinfoil than the bubble. The pop bubbles, the shipping package bubbles.
Oh Lord, yeah.
You just don't want us all. You just don't want us to pop you.
Well, no, I would.
No.
But I will tell you this: if you're going to fall down the stairs, wear the pop bubbles. They are far less painful.
Hey, I've got a great idea. I've got a great idea for the party. Wrap Eric in bubble wrap and then use paint guns.
Oh no!
No, that's something we got to do. The birthday boy, birthday boy's gonna be a bubble wrap.
Sorry, dude.
That sounds kind of fun.
Let him go play with little Bo Peep or something like what I did. That would be exciting.
Oh my God! Just got that.
We'll wrap a bubble wrap and put a tinfoil head on his head.
There you go. And there's the new picture for Forest Moon.
And you know what's going to be great is Michael's going to be here for the birthday, and Mike Bourne's going to be here for the birthday, and I think I heard a rumor that Dave Scott might actually show up.
Wow!
He said he's going to try. We were talking on the phone last night after Roundtable. He said he's going to try, but he's got a lot on his plate, so
He does.
I'm sure the intention is there, and he'll try if he can, but I think he's going to be tied up. So I'm not counting on it. If he's there, I'll be surprised. But not because he just blew it off, but just because he's really busy.
Oh, yeah, especially right now.
Yeah, he's got some really
so I
good
see
things going
Tessa's,
for SOR.
Yes, he does. So I see Tessa's in the chat room. We're actually sending Tessa and her team to possibly New Mexico for a boots on ground case along with Astral. So, like I said, we're slammed so hard today that if we have clients that are within local reach of our other boots on ground teams, we utilize them. And we have one in Colorado, one in New Mexico. So, and Bonnie, didn't we have one in Cyprus today?
Yes, this morning. There's an alien abduction case. I started out with flying snakes and went to that quickly, so it's been going downhill ever since. That's why the cat's got my tongue tonight.
You can send the flying snakes my way. I love flying snakes.
Oh, I'll send you a picture. Would you like to see one?
God, yeah.
They're amazing. I'll send you one. And honestly, this lady's not, it's this is a place that's a storage unit that's very haunted. So it's irregular. When something gets in and she has all these cameras, she sends it to me and we go get rid of it. But mostly it's harmless stuff. Lots of fairies, lots of stuff flying around there. But yes, in Cyprus we did. I haven't heard back from that case yet, but I did disabled an implant. Didn't find any presence of aliens while I was there. So we're waiting to see how the client will move from there.
Bringing up some of these cases, we work within all religious aspects, but and I want input on this. It just seems it's irritating to me when I get a case, I triage it and I disperse it to the team. The minute I let them know that we are pagan based, all of a sudden some of them just clam up and, oh my God, I'm Christian, or oh my God, I'm Catholic. No, I don't want you to deal with my case, or they just shut up. If you want help, does it really matter what the religious criteria is of the team that's helping you?
Well, sad to say, for most people, the answer to that is yes.
It comes back to what we talked
about. Is that most of us here, haven't always been pagan. Me for Catholic, I've been to Christianity and Catholic side. So we know the religions. We've just chosen a different path. It doesn't mean we discredit their religion. Things are different for us now.
This is one of the things that most religions forget, is that regardless of whether they call it God or Shiva or Buddha or whatever, virtually every one of the religions says their God created everything. And they keep forgetting that includes the other religions.
Correct.
Absolutely.
That's one of the challenges I've been facing.
It's just irritating.
Well,
you probably see more of that in the triage, Eric, than we do. Because usually, once in a while they change up on us but usually once they get to us, they're settled a little bit. But I've seen them say, oh, well, we're witches or pagans and whatever you might be, and oh boy, never mind.
Well, I've had the misfortune of being Christian before I switched over to pagan, and so I know how to work with it too myself. I know just exactly how what things to use, how to talk to them, everything else like that when it comes down to it.
What's your thoughts, Michael?
Well, it's kind of interesting when you actually get to the definition of pagan. The dictionary says, I'm reading it right now, a person holding religious beliefs other than those of the mainstream world religion. So it's definitely a religious belief, but it's just not the mainstream. So some people have a different view of what a pagan is. I think that's got to be something that's an educational point as well.
Absolutely.
Well, there's damn few pagans out there cutting people's heads off, and I don't think there's any pagans out there wearing suicide vests. and blowing themselves up in shopping malls and some of that horse manure. So,
but there is a lot of patchouli.
Yeah, but that doesn't really make you violent.
Yeah, I don't dig on that one. That's one I can't stand. I don't like the patchouli.
Oh. It's more about professionalism, and I mean, I would think that's what it would come down to, is a professionalism aspect. And as a professional team, they should be able to get past that if they really want the help. I think that's what it boils down to. Do you really want the help, or are you a curiosity seeker, or are you an attention seeker?
Well, Lord,
if you're on a case in a Christian home, and it is, and like I said, I've always thought demons had a hell of a lot more important stuff to do than hang around in people's closets moaning and groaning. But if you were to actually get into a demonic case, would you consider trying to get a hold of either a Catholic lay person, lay exorcist, or actually try to involve a priest in an exorcism?
An exorcism. I'm gonna be blunt. We'll handle the demon aspect, and we will bring in a Catholic priest to bless the home.
Because it seems one of the problems is even with a church exorcism, or the Roman Rite, it seems that they come back. It's no guarantee that you get rid of it; it's going to stay gone. So it's like a constant battle, and most often the victim opens the door back open. Reopens, allows that spirit back in, or that demon.
But that's also why we leave our door open. The client can come back if they have other issues. Some of them do. Some we don't hear from them again until they need us again.
I had a client that Bonnie cleared the place of everything in early February, and she was talking with me early this week because something had come back in and it needed to be cleansed again. And I helped her with that, and Bonnie was gracious to go in and do the clearing again.
Now, in those cases, do we find out what brought it back? Was somebody doing something in the home?
The mother and daughter are both very gifted, and they're learning shielding and things.
Okay. So we have the education aspect in place.
Absolutely.
And we even have a case of a new medium that we actually have Sarah, our own medium, mentoring her, because, once you have skills that are developing, it tends to bring things in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just like turning on a light in a dark room. It gets their attention.
Right. You bring the models in.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, these models could damage you.
Mm-hmm.
So, the education aspect does assist those with developing skills as well, which I'm happy to say.
I have found that with a lot of my clients, the clients that I've held to help that had differing religions, they're very eager for the information that I have for them, but incredibly grateful when I give the Catholic the way to make holy water. And I explain how to use it and that type of thing. At that point, the client realizes that, I do, even though I don't follow their teaching, so to speak, I do respect that. And that's huge with the clients.
Oh, that's extremely important. Right across the board, that's an important one. The thing most people and most teams that I've talked to overlook is when you're dealing with a spirit, a demon, an entity of any form, you have to respect that individual as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Trips in the chat room, he asked, won't the house still need to be salted? Absolutely. And that's where the aftercare team comes in. The aftercare team is also the ones that teach the client how to cleanse the home, which salting is a practice that we do teach.
Mm-hmm.
As well as saging, as well as shielding, as well as other protective measures. So does salting need to be done? Absolutely.
I even suggested that my clients to leave salt under the bed. Just leave it there.
That, and we also encourage for children rose quartz, because rose quartz is good for nightmares.
I like to put them in stuffed animals.
Say again?
I suggest to clients that if they have a small child, to put the rose quartz and black tourmaline in the child's favorite toy that they sleep with.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. The one thing that you got to keep out of that you make sure they get away from it, and I've seen people forget this one, is both wherever the manifestation is, make certain they're keeping both clear quartz crystal and amethyst, especially chevron amethyst, away from that area, because it's easier for the entity to come through.
Well, crystal's a magnifier, so it'll help reopen a portal or bring in a manifestation.
The other big one that gets forgotten too is when they're using the salt is drains. And I know that we beat the hell out of this one a lot, but it's making sure those drains and a lot of times windowsills and stuff like that get salted.
Kind of like your electrical the electrical outlets. They've got a tendency of utilizing those when all else fails too.
I can see that.
Yeah. They can come into all types of electronics.
I'm wondering if that technique of salting would be helpful with alien abductions, where they obviously come through the window or the wall or whatever. I'm wondering if that would. You guys are the experts in this area, but that would be interesting to know.
It would.
They just pick it up off the ground and use it to eat us with. As seasoning.
Well, I was going to say
flavoring.
That's kind of like trying to keep the cattle out of your yard by lining it with salt licks.
Or alfalfa.
Doesn't work so well with aliens.
Although being the individual I am, I do agree it would be exciting to watch.
I don't know if exciting is the right word in that one either.
Okay, why don't you sit out with a bag of rock salt?
Okay, so it is that time, just so everybody knows here. It's time for us to head off to a break here. When we come back from break, we will continue our monthly team show. Tonight on our panel, we have Eric Markham, RF&P scientist, R. Keith Andrews, astrologist and alien specialist, Michael Hall of UFO I-Team, Donna Cunningham from the Astral Team, Bonnie Smith from the Astral Team, Sam Wynn of Hunter Moon Paranormal and the Aftercare Team, myself, Corey Reese, and Eric Cooper of Forest Moon Paranormal. Join us every Saturday night at midnight Pacific Standard Time. You can find us on Spreaker.com, SpacedOutRadio.com, and The Fringe FM. And for you local listeners, you can now catch our shows on KSVU 90.1 on your FM dial on Saturdays from 10 p.m. to midnight. Check us out. Check out Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott Monday through Friday, Spaced Out Weekend with Joe Roop Saturdays, and the best of SOR on Sundays, all at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also check out The Fringe FM with shows like Lighting the Void with Joe Roop and a plethora of other good shows. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and I want you to come on a nightly journey. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, every Monday through Friday, you can come hang out with me and the other space travelers. We have it all from Carl the Alien bouncing on by to those misfit gnomes causing havoc. It's 3 hours of fun and entertainment on those topics the mainstream really doesn't want to touch. Come get all paranormal with us at spacedoutradio.com, and together, my friends, along with our resident guitar god Bumblefoot, we own the night.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Radio. Join our Space Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Have you had an experience you can't explain? Would you like someone you can trust to look into it? We have just the place. The SOR Sightlines Report is the place for you to find answers. Whether it's Bigfoot, UFOs, Dogman, ghosts, aliens, or anything strange, the Sightlines Report will get you connected with one of our expert researchers to find out what's going on. All of your personal information is kept 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report, a place for you to find the answers you need. Only at spacedoutradio.com.
Welcome to Spaced Out Saturdays with me, Dave Cruz from Beyond the Strange. Our weekly feature on spacedoutradio.com will take you around the world discussing everything from the paranormal to the latest conspiracies from the top guests in their fields. We won't leave any story uncovered. Spaced Out Saturdays at spacedoutradio.com starting 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
It's Cosmic Sundays with me, Elizabeth Anglin, in Cosmic Passport. Let me take you down a 3-hour spiritual journey where we will get into everything from ET contact to Psychic Sundays. It's a journey of listening and learning together with some of the best professionals in their fields. You can tune in to Cosmic Passport at spacedoutradio.com every Sunday starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern.
The views and opinions expressed on tonight's show by tonight's hosts and guests are not necessarily those of Spaced Out Radio, Spaced Out Saturdays, Spaced Out Sundays, or SpacedOutRadio.com. Listener discretion is advised. And now back for hour number 2, we have Corey Ruiz, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal, and S4. You can find Forest Moon Paranormal on Facebook. And for more information on S4, visit spacedoutradio.com. And now, here's Eric Cooper and Corey Ruiz.
Welcome back. For those of you just joining us, tonight we are having our monthly team show. On our panel we have Eric Markham, R. Keith Andrews, Michael Hall, Donna Cunningham, Bonnie Smith, and Sam Wynn. Welcome back, everyone.
Well, thanks for having us.
Hey.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we got to answer that question real quick just before break. Salt does not stop abductions. Only thing that stops abductions is shutting down the implant, waiting to see what shows up to see why the implant is shut down. And if it's a gray, it will probably cut its losses and leave. If it's not a gray, then, it depends on the race. If it's a gray that works with reptilians, then the reptilians will stick around and want to fight. And that's really what it boils down to. Then we go to battle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's stopping abduction in a nutshell. And yes, Dave, Coop's beard does stop abductions. that came up in the chat.
The power of the beard.
Indeed.
Yeah. The unfortunate part is what it protects is the beard.
Okay, Trip got it up. All right. So yes, we do have Michael Hall's video the awesome video that he made for Forest Moon Paranormal, up in our S4 YouTube channel. Trip has the link up in the chat room.
Cool. I hope you guys like that.
Oh God, we loved it. We want a 20-minute extended version though.
That was a
That's
great
what I'm
video.
working on.
I think it was awesome.
Awesome. And if I get you all the speaker pictures and whatnot, would love to see an FMP Paracon video.
Exactly. Yeah, I would love to do that. It's I'm learning as I go here, but if I can get the content, I can create the trailer for you.
You know what? I actually had video editors and our production company that came to the meeting in Bellingham was highly impressed with your work. Wanted to know who you were, and so yeah, you did it right.
Did you tell him it was the paranormal lawyer?
I did.
Paranormal lawyer.
Isn't that paralegal?
Yeah, there you go.
I love that one, Sam. Hey, she's on her move tonight now.
That makes sense to me. Paralegal.
Yep.
Oh. So what they actually want to do too, because one of them does marketing and he wants to market FMP and get us out there so we can get clients help. He also wants to actually come to the first presentation we do for first responders and record it. So
wonderful.
That would be awesome. Now it's a matter of getting the presentation out to first responders. That's going to be the chore. Now again, in our community, we have a very large meeting with a lot of the important people, I guess you could say, and we're going to be passing out the press packets for FMP at that meeting to those people, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, UFOI team, what's your next venture?
Well, we have, we've got McMinnville, Oregon coming up. The McMinnville UFO Festival put on by McMinimans Hotel, which is, by the way, one of the largest UFO conferences in the country. There, as far as how many people attend the entire weekend event, which goes from Thursday till Sunday, it's second only to Roswell, New Mexico, and it's very family oriented. They've got Kitties parade. They've got they even have a dog parade where everybody dresses up their animals as aliens. They have an alien ball. They have all the great speakers in the world. And matter of fact, this year we've got George Knapp showing up to the conference, so he will draw a lot of folks in. And
oh yeah,
of course, Peter Davenport and myself will be there hanging out. And Peter probably has been the MC for this event for probably 14, 15 years in a row, and he seems to really make that thing happen. So I'm excited to go down there. That's in the middle of May. You can Google the exact dates there, but it's a Thursday through Sunday event.
Excellent. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to make big events. We're busy all the time.
Yeah.
But for the listeners, McMinnville, was that 1952 that made that town famous with the UFO sighting in the picture?
You know, it was 1951, and the reason I know that is 1952 is the year I was born, and I know it was a year before I was born when that happened, when the Trent family, Mr. and Mrs. Trent, farmers out there in McMinnville, took amazing photographs before Photoshop of a, let's call it a hat shape, kind of like a flattened hat-shaped UFO that's never been debunked. So that's a fantastic sighting report that is made that little town more famous than it already was. So,
what else was it famous for?
Well, you know, there is a heck of a college there. I don't know if you know that. There's a small. It's a college town. And gosh, what's the name of the college down there? When you guys might remember, but yeah, there's it's kind of like going to Pullman. Let's put it that way, you know.
Okay, gotcha.
Linfield College is the name of it.
Okay. And then, of course, the big UFO sighting happened, and that put them on the UFO map. And speaking of a UFO map, I actually got, there was a post in FMP today about all the hotspot sightings in the United States. I haven't even looked at it because, well, I kind of know where most of them are as far as Washington goes. But I found that interesting, and then I, of course, referred them to Newfork. Said I get all my reports from Newfork, as well as George Filer.
Yeah.
Wait, have you ever talked to George Filer from Filer's Files?
I have never talked with George myself, but I do subscribe to his newsletter, which is chock full of stuff all the time. So talk about a guy who has been to his nose to the grindstone for all these years. You know, Air Force veteran, actually encountered UFOs during World War II over England himself, and had been fascinated with them the rest of his life. So it's guys like that are gems in the ufological community by continuing to provide a service of gathering all these reports together.
And I like the fact that, you know, I can take Newfork and I can compare it with Filer's Files and see if any sightings were missed when you compare them both.
Oh yeah, you know, and Peter Davenport will tell you that his statistics show that even though he's got hundreds of thousands of sighting reports that he gets, he believes he is only getting about 1 out of maybe 20,000 reports that are out there. People just don't take the time to report all the things that they see. And if that's the case, things are going on all around us all the time. Matter of fact, the UFO I-Team, when we go out with our night vision video, our stop action photography, and the gear that we have, almost any night of the week, we can find anomalous activity in the night sky that most people would have no clue about because they don't look at it through their equipment that we have.
Well,
right.
The ironic part is only roughly 1% of the population looks up.
Yeah, true.
Well,
most
if
tall
you're in
people look
Washington,
down.
well, the thing is, if you're in Washington, we always see it as clouds most of the time.
So watch for the lights behind the clouds.
You can't see what's behind the clouds.
No, but
Sometimes you can.
I've seen some where they've actually got spotlights that are originating above the clouds, and you can tell because of the light refraction.
Right.
That's always trippy to watch.
So I'm excited because UFOI team will be at the Paracon actually, and we'll be recording anyone who wants to go tell their stories.
Yes, that's right. Matter of fact, that is our motto. Tell us your story. And now that the government and all these mainstream medias are coming out and allowing people to hear the stories and report on these issues, we're having a lot easier time having people come up and telling us their stories. They almost need to now kind of get it out of their system, I believe. And most people are thinking, you know what? I'm feeling a little vindicated now because I don't need to say you're probably going to think I'm crazy anymore, because most people will say, hey, if the government will come out and confirm this, I want to tell you what I saw.
Well, that's
exactly.
I mean, basically.
Well, I've often thought we needed to have. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. The delay got me.
People are now feel they've been given permission to open up. We were waiting for this to happen.
It's hard to beat the filters. I mean, here I am. I mean, I believe, I'm on the side of belief, but I still have that inner doubter or that inner skeptic. It's just like there's almost like a subconscious roadblock in there from, the upbringing. And as much as you try to not let, or, I've always been the one that if rock and roll was what everybody wanted to listen to, I listened. I've been a contrarian my whole life. But even being a contrarian, you still get, the expectations that are hammered at you 24/7 they do get set up. You do get blocks. You do get influenced by that.
Well, Markham, I think you would probably agree with Jacques Vallée, where he is actually coming out and has been from the very beginning saying that he would be very surprised if UFOs and flying saucers were just aliens from another planet. So he was right from the beginning a contrarian in this entire field, and it's good to keep that mind open like that. I think that's a good thing for you to do.
Well, it's just a matter of, I can't remember if it was Einstein or Arthur C. Clarke, but one of them said, there's two possibilities. Either the universe is teeming with life or we're alone. And either one of those is scary. Because, just think in our sci-fi, you have this infinite universe out there, so that pretty much means anything, any race, any thing we have imagined probably exists out there. So there are, Klingons that walk in and say, we like your planet. We're here to stay. Get over it or die. Or, they don't even give you the choice.
Yeah.
There's all this infinite diversity out there and infinite combinations. Yes, a little bit of trekkiness there leaking out. But, I mean, that's scary when you think about it. But then what if this whole universe, and we were it? That would be, to me, terrifying.
I think back to the movie Contact with Jodie Foster. the idea that she mentioned in the film was that if knowing, as a scientist, knowing how large the known universe is, as you do, Markham, and as our Keith knows, if we are the only thing in this entire expanse, what a waste of space.
Absolutely. That's my favorite quote from that movie.
I know that fits a lot of things I've seen.
And I mean, that's just the visible universe on this plane. I mean, that doesn't even take into account multiple dimensions, parallel dimensions, things that are happening right beside us, but they are just that tweak of a microsecond out of phase with us that we don't, everything is bunched up. I mean, there is probably no such thing as empty space. Something is going on in some dimension everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's too much evidence that points in that direction.
Well, and I just watched, because, like I said, none of them on spring break. I have time to watch videos that I haven't had a chance to watch yet. And I just watched a video put out by the UFO BC organization with an abductee. And one of the astrophysicists came on and said there's like 700 planets that they've been discovering. And so much for all the little planets, and they took Pluto off the how many people that piss off when they took Pluto off the, planet listing. Yet, they're still finding all these, new planets now.
I wonder if the people actually living on Pluto would agree with it not being a planet.
Right?
I'm just curious on that one.
Well, they got the technology to live on that ice ball. I doubt if they care.
Yeah. I think they're probably just worried about this human thing spreading.
Yeah. Please don't let us catch that human thing.
Right. Oh, no, that planet's not humans.
Oh, God. Well, let the humans out.
The funny part there is they're more afraid of humans than humans are afraid of them, which is a frightening thing in itself.
Yeah.
But
I have a little shocked when I show up.
We seem to, as humans, think that we are king stuff, but I think it's probably just the other way around. I think a lot of the aliens out there probably look at us as like, oh my goodness, that's like letting out the rednecks, into the solar system. Oh God, here they come. Oh crap.
Okay, what do you have against the South?
Nothing. I love the South.
Hey, I'm with you there.
I'm just saying. Trust me, I love the sweet tea.
Humans have the ability to modify the odds because of humans' ability to tap into the neural net and modify the outcome. Humans can take a totally logical situation, go the completely wrong direction, and still win. And this is what worries most of the off-worlders. Because mankind does not seem to understand the idea of can't, and they ignore the idea of don't.
Oh, yeah. God didn't say, don't eat from the tree of eternal life. He said, hey, don't eat from that tree that's got the knowledge on it, okay? Well, I think what's got to puzzle, what I would think, just as a human, this puzzles me. So for an off-worlder, this has got to be even more of a enigma. The same race of human beings that has Mohandas Gandhi, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Siddhartha Buddha. You have all these amazing, people, of Mother Teresa. You think of somebody you probably know that you just think, how in the hell are they even human? There's so much goodness in them. That same
How do we
race
know-
has Hitler, Mussolini, Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, it's like you don't know what you're going to get.
Sure you do. It's called confused.
But, I mean, that's just got to
Mass
puzzle
confusion.
them. It's like, how do the off-worlders look at that and say, what? The two extremes.
Well, that's just it, and this is one of the things that they look at, is that you can take the most peaceful individual on Earth, you corner them, and they become the most bloodthirsty redneck you've ever seen.
There you go with that again.
Back to the redneck thing again, man.
Well, think of it this way: they're just talking. You're standing out in the sun too long with your hair done up.
Okay, I've canoed down rivers and I have never heard Deliverance. I've never heard that.
I have
I'm just
canoed
saying.
down rivers, and I make sure that I have that on my boombox.
Oh, boy.
I play that loud and proud.
You win.
Yeah, I did a matter of fact, I did a little trip here not too long ago. There's a little kayak canoe place you can go where you go in and they will pick you up at the other end, take you back. And yes, I had dueling banjos, and there's a couple little picnic areas and a couple little, pull-offs along there, and I made sure as I was coming around the bend, that was wide open.
I'm sure anyone sitting there at the picnic tables are looking for Ned Beatty at that point.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
Oh God!
I've been known to shout. I've been known to shout that at people as I'm passing them on the river. Yes.
You are evil. I love it.
Yes, I am. Why be normal?
Oh, this upcoming birthday party is going to be a riot. I can see it already. Here it comes.
As long as it's Skype, so other people can participate.
Well, the only problem is Eric's internet out there sucks so bad we can't really Skype it. That's why the studio's at my house.
You think I want that many witnesses?
What do you think Facebook's for?
We might have to Facebook Live something. We'll come up with something between now and then.
I'm wearing a mask then.
You almost said another word.
Like I said in the chat, we'll definitely be posting pictures.
No, I'm going to have to behave.
No, misbehave. More fun that way.
Well, of course, you do know the trick to not getting caught at it there, eh? To not get in trouble is you just plain don't get caught. Now, with the number of cameras and electronics out there, good luck with that thought.
Well, the whole thing about blackmail is you have to be ashamed of your actions or care whether somebody catches you. I'm at that point in my life where, yeah, right, post it. See if I care.
Well, the sad part there is if you're anything like me, you're at that point in your life where somebody takes a picture of it and you go, oh man, I didn't realize I'd done that. Thanks for reminding me.
Man, I forgot all about that. I was so messed up.
Hey, the upside is, it's on private property, way out in the country. Ain't nobody else going to show up. I mean, really.
Well, they might, but they're likely to come bring a 2-4 with them.
I will have to say, Coop's out there in the boonies so far, he gets a sunlight bill.
Pretty much. We're literally up on the mountain. Ain't no one going to show up.
We were talking about aliens.
Well, they might show up.
Or law enforcement.
Aliens ain't gonna show up either, unless Keith, tells them to show up.
Well, I'm talking to him, but somebody pop in. That would always be nice.
Aliens show up, we'll scare the hell out of them.
They ain't gonna want to show up.
All we need to do is get one of the predators to show up. That ought to make things interesting around that end of the woods.
Like, what does barbecued lizards taste like, right?
I am that particular thought. I'm so happy. I'm like a couple thousand miles away.
So, what part of the world are you in?
Tennessee.
Oh, I'm in North Carolina. I'll be driving past you on my way out there.
Hey, if you need a place to crash for a night, let me know.
Okay. I'm going to try and make it to... I'm going to leave Monday night after I get a little rest. And I'm going to try and make it... I'm taking 40 to Nashville. At Nashville, I'm going to get on 24, and I'm going to try and get to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm going to try and drive 20 straight, because at Sioux Falls is when I get on 90. So I'm going to stop the night, or, I'm going to stop and rest in Sioux Falls, get on 90, and then it's a straight run out to Washington.
Well, to give you an idea, I'm about an hour east of Nashville, right off of 40. I can see 40 from my house.
Around the Cookeville area.
Yep, I'm right between Cookeville and Crossville.
Sparta? No, don't answer on a radio program. I used to run a tool route back when there was furniture factories in Sparta and Cookeville, and Molder.
We've talked about that
Molder
offline.
mini barns. Okay, yeah. I used to have to go out fix some of Molder's stuff.
Well, we'll talk offline.
Okay.
I don't want to take up the show with that.
So I wonder if Techlex tastes like chicken.
No, they taste like Techlec.
Okay.
Chicken tastes like chicken.
Usually, yeah. Even human doesn't taste like chicken.
Alligator tail tastes... No, human tastes like pork.
I bet Techlex would probably taste a little closer to gator.
Closer to it, yes, but actually closer to Gila Monster. And yes, I'm working on recipes, but that's another issue.
Daily recipes?
Okay, is that another issue that you need to talk to your shrink about, or is that another issue for the show?
Oh, no, see, the shrink actually told me I'm perfectly fine. Of course, I paid a fortune to get that diagnosis, but...
Right? Now that's called blackmail.
No, it was a question of if I paid him that much, he told me I didn't have to come back.
Because your charity's that bad.
Oh.
Back in a second, folks. I got to look into something real quick.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. Keith, keep on making recipes. Hey, it's time for a little payback. Them Techlex have been eating plenty of us. It's time to have a few recipes for them. Barbecue their butts up.
Yep. It'll be called Keith's Off-Worlders Cookbook.
Hey, you can probably get some really good recipes from Australia's Aborigines. They've been eating lizards for years.
Oh yeah. That's okay. I've got a budding Red Seal chef that's going to actually give me a hand with translating. With testing them out. Granted,
nice.
not using tech, but using similar. Primarily because I don't feel like dealing with the laser fire to actually get it.
They're always about details.
Negotiations.
That's just a detail. You can do it.
I got a great title for your alien cookbook. How about instead of the Twilight Zone episode of Serving Man, we'll say Serving Aliens.
Well, yeah, have you ever seen the bars these guys hang around in? I mean, if you think waitresses in today's world have a bad time with humans, you should see the way some of these guys act.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
So,
just trying to
Keith,
figure out how to twist that to serve man episode to our purpose.
Exactly. Yeah.
So John's got a question for Keith in the chat room. Are any of the reptilian species you've talked about part of the Draco Empire?
Well, the Srazosians are actually descended from the Dracos, and so are the Tormenon. Both are part, or more to the point, were part of it. That said, the Teklex are actually from within it, but they aren't actually related to them. So they've got a ongoing beef as far as who's supposed to be in control. But those two are the two real big issues.
Who did we figure out put the thing in my nose, or in my head via the nose?
If I recall correctly, I believe that was the Srazosians that actually did it.
Srazosians, yes. Okay.
Which means they're not actually trying to do you in; they're actually trying to help.
Yeah, I'm fully. It's like, hey, they don't have to play games. It's like there's nothing about their appearance that could be so alarming to me that it would freak me out. It's like,
well, I've actually got an artist in England working on a picture for me, to show what a Srazosian actually looks like.
Awesome. I would say working with somebody like that, or somebody like Harvey Pratt, who is a forensic, a law enforcement, like a forensic artist, would be a big step.
So is the Alien Race / Alien Ship book, is that going to be ready by Paracon, Keith?
The which?
The Alien Race / Alien Ship?
It will be, but not in full book form. Frankly, with the cost of trying to put it all together, and with my finances, that always becomes a fun job. However, that said, will I have some of the information there? The answer is yes, but I am hoping for, what would it be, 2/19 to have it ready by then.
Good. Because that's a book we definitely want in the library.
That must definitely.
Art Keith, I've got a suggestion for you. If you haven't tried this yet, I've got a few books on Amazon myself, but you go through createspace.com, and you can upload your manuscript and create a cover, back and front cover for your own book, and you get to print those things out and get hard copies for about $3 a piece, and there's no minimum order, so you can get 20, 40 books for pretty cheap, and then you can sell them on your own, and it's a really easy way of doing it.
Well, that's createspace.com, I take it.
Yes, it is, but it's hooked up to Amazon. So you create you upload your manuscript to createspace.com, and then it goes up to Amazon as well, and people literally all over the world will be able to either buy a download from your book, or get the hard copy that way.
I will certainly look into it.
Yeah,
because I prefer dealing with the hard copy itself, and quite frankly, I prefer dealing local. But you work with what you can get.
Well, and there's no charges for CreateSpace. You don't have to pay them $500 up front. You just don't do that. You just buy how many books you want. Like I said, they're very inexpensive, and then you can get your hard copies, do whatever you want with them.
Yeah. No, that may well be the best way to go. I know.
But I definitely want a hard copy.
I know with the novel I've got coming out, I've got it all lined up. But
Wonderful.
That one, because what I'm going to have fun with is trying to get the technical specs, trying to get them translated.
Yeah.
But no, that's one of those projects that is extremely important to get done. Is the list of the different races and what they're actually running around with,
and how to fight them.
You know,
Would be cool.
Oddly enough, most of the fighting humans aren't capable of, but much more importantly, most of the races aren't interested in fighting humans. Yeah,
and I would agree. It's not. There's not going to be an invasion, so there's no reason to fight them. The only fighting that's done is when we stop the abduction, and that's on a different level.
Yeah,
that's on a completely different level.
They treat us more primitive when we're in that level anyway. They don't come in with their technology. They want to use more brute force and try to remove us.
I got news for you. You think about it this way: if any one of those races, and especially with the consortium out there, if they wanted to take over Earth, one simple global EMP pulse, and mankind is up a creek.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well,
it's over before.
The reason they don't want to fight us is, think of this: do you like eating bruised bananas?
Nice one.
They make the best banana bread.
They really do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've always said that if they have the technology to get here, it's not going to be like Independence Day or Battle of Los Angeles or any of that crap. If they can get here, it's like stomping on an anthill. It's not going to be a fight. It's going to be it's going to be a
combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If they want us to be, if they want us to be alive, well, good, because we weren't going to be able to survive without their goodwill anyway. So.
Well, I mean, think about it. Mankind knows how to knock somebody out with sonic waves. Can you picture how much further these guys really are ahead?
Right.
Oh, I'm sure they can just make everybody just turn off the autonomic nervous system, and everybody just, crumbles in a heap and quits living.
Yeah, pretty much. The scary part is they know how to turn those back on.
Yeah, but by then it's just an animated meat suit. The soul's gone.
Yeah, bad news? They know how to trap it. Some of them do.
Well, I've heard that one of the races on the moon can do that because they damn near got Ingo Swann, according to one of his stories.
Well, the thing is, all you have to do is increase the molecular density around the body, and the soul can't get out. Basically, you put a solidified cocoon around the thing, and the soul isn't going anywhere. Which I know sounds just so simple.
So that's like a shield?
Essentially, yes. More like a cage.
Right.
Like a reverse Faraday cage. Traps the spirit energy inside.
Yes. I mean,
that
if you
would
think
piss
about
me
it,
off.
when you watch the show,
yeah, me too.
The original Ghostbusters had it right when they figured that you could trap spiritual energy. You can. You just have to know how. But I mean,
that's interesting.
Triphasic technology.
And that's interesting that Dan Aykroyd was in the Ghostbusters with that technology idea, when Dan Aykroyd himself is heavily in the UFO field.
Yeah, that is kind of a fascinating little tidbit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dan Aykroyd, I believe, saw his first UFO at the age of 7. Has been intrigued with UFOs ever since, which makes sense why he was in, Ghostbusters. He's always been into the paranormal.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, in your years of Hollywood, and I know you were in the comedy series 206, Michael. Did you ever get to meet Dan Aykroyd?
Did I ever get to meet Dan Aykroyd? Have I got a story for you? Dan Aykroyd, by the way, is from Canada, of course. He's a Canadian, and he's about 3 days older than I am. But I had the fascinating opportunity when I was in L.A., hanging out down there trying to be famous like everybody else before I went to law school. I found myself being the host backstage at Universal Studios Amphitheater, where Sinatra would open the season. All the rock groups came through. And I remember being the backstage host to the Blues Brothers for an entire week of shows.
Oh, wow.
Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi were at the height of their famedom at that point with the Blues Brothers movie, and did an incredible show. Matter of fact, if you've ever heard, well, you've seen the Blues Brothers and the great blues music that they play. They had the all-star blues band to back them up, really, on the film. But I got to tell you this story, is that basically all the stars that would come in and perform at the Universal Studios Amphitheater would stay at the Universal Hilton, which is right there on the back lot. And they would come in and do their show, and then after the show, they'd have the party, and then they'd go back and they would stay at the hotel and kind of rest up for the next day. Not the Blues Brothers. They stayed in their dressing room suites in the green room for the entire week. Matter of fact, because of insurance purposes, they made me, as the host, hang out with these guys 24 hours a day because they didn't want to have anybody get hurt while no one was there. But here's the funny story. Most of these guys have what they call bodyguards, and they would kind of, keep the fans away from them, when they had the parties backstage after the show. John Belushi's bodyguard was Bill Superfoot Wallace. This guy was like a 7-time world karate champion. He could stand in a door jam, and put his one foot on the ground, his other foot on the top of the door jam flat. That's the kind of, martial artist he was. And his job was not to protect John Belushi, but his job was to protect people from John Belushi. That's how crazy he was.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Bill Superfoot Wallace is still very heavily into the martial arts. He does every year he does I think it's called Karate University, and my Krav teacher is invited teacher to go to his academy every year. So that was
Bill
hardcore
Bill
still.
He is, and he was the nicest guy to hang out with and to deal with, because obviously he was given an impossible task, because John Belushi really was, off his rocker at that point. Matter of fact, Bill felt so bad when, at the end of that summer, Belushi actually OD'd, and Bill kind of blamed himself that he wasn't there at the time to kind of keep him on track. But you can't be with a guy 24 hours a day. It's not his fault or anybody's.
No, when somebody gets into that kind of shape, there is no functional way to protect them from themselves.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Indeed.
Humans aren't the only ones that run into that kind of addictive complication.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the thing is, if you think about it, off-worlders and ancient races are just another group of people. They've got their own beliefs, their own hang-ups, their own addictions. They're just different. That's all. And when I talk about different, I'm referring to really they are skeletally different, their social backgrounds are different, but their core desires are exactly the same as mankind's. They just have different ways of expressing them.
Oh.
It's kind of funny, but if you take a look at the people in the big cities and you take a look at the Aborigines, and I'm talking just humans, they still all want exactly the same thing when you really boil it down. And that's what people have to realize. When people start worrying, this whole idea of the off-worlders are here to take over and infiltrate the government and what have you, comes straight out of V. Right. It was a Hollywood script that was done beautifully, but, well, maybe not. But it was a good show. But the different races, they're not that much different from man, aside from how they communicate. Like, as in their language.
All right. We're actually coming down to the last 10 minutes of the show. Wow. It always goes fast. And can't wait. Markham's going to be on the road Monday. Going to be an awesome time. Like I said, pictures will be posted.
You better not.
Whether Markham remembers some of them to be debated, but yes, it's going to be an awesome party.
I can see it now. Where's my pants?
And just so you know, I'm going to be, since we're doing that party on Saturday, I'm bringing my smoker over, and we're going to start smoking meat and stuff in the morning and go through the afternoon.
Well, who are you to do that to?
You're evil.
Yes, I am.
I'm not liking you right now. Just saying.
And ideally, we will have Dan Aykroyd on the show one day, if we can get strings pulled to get him over here. I know he's, I believe he's in Okanagan, is he not, Michael?
Wow, I hadn't heard that, but wouldn't that be great? I have a piece of property up there, actually, so, wow.
Property up here, we spend a lot of time up here.
He's on the Canadian side in Okanagan because it stretches across the border. But I heard he has a vineyard in Okanagan, and we do have someone in the group that has friends of Dan's that are trying to drop a bug in his ear that S4 would like to have him on the show. And it'd be really great to have him at Paracon one of these years.
Yes.
Well, the Speed Paracon is starting to grow. That isn't really that far off if you think about it.
No, really isn't.
No, it's not. Not at all.
Thank God you dropped the presentations down to an hour. I was like, oh, God, how am I going to pad this for 90 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, just use a lot of ums and O's.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I don't even know how long I'm supposed to be talking today as Paracon. I reckon I better find that out.
Yeah, I better get my passport. Since Cheryl canceled hers, I'll be able to go to. Since Cheryl canceled her psychic fair, that frees me up because I had already committed to doing that. With that shutting down, I can save up the rest of my time. Well, it's not my hours. It's the way my job is structured. I'm only allowed to take back-to-back weekends once a year. So that'll be my once a year that I take my back-to-backs. Will be that Canada.
There you go.
Forest Moon Paranormal, then go up to the Canada.
I can't wait.
One Dave's going to be at.
That's going to be a fun parathon as well. So, Michael, where can our listeners find UFO I-Team?
Well, we would be honored if they checked us out at UFOIteam.com. That's our webpage, and you can always check us out on Facebook at UFO I-Team. We live stream our weekly meetings at that Facebook site.
I watched that last week. That one old boy, that former pilot, had some good. I was listening to his story about the physics teacher and about, him looking for one while he was in the air. That was good.
He was flying a Cessna, chasing a UFO over Spokane International Airport. What a story!
Yeah. And Keith, where can we find you on YouTube? And do you have a website now, or are you on YouTube?
Still, I am on YouTube at R. Keith Andrews. As for the website, still working on getting that sorted around. But of course, you can find me on Facebook easy enough. I've got the hand carved UFO for a faceplate.
Nice.
All right. And anyone looking for Forest Moon Paranormal, we're on Facebook. Just look for Forest Moon Paranormal and join the group. And www.forestmoonparanormal.spruz.com. And with that, thank you all for being on the show. Great show tonight. As always, the team show is one of our top shows that people listen to. So, Corey, go ahead and take us home.
Okay, I think I can make that happen here. I would like to thank our panel tonight: Eric Markham, our FMP scientist, our Keith Andrews, astrologist and alien specialist, Michael Hall of the UFO I-Team, Donna Cunningham from our Astral Team, Bonnie Smith from our Astral Team, and Sam Wynn of Hunter Moon Paranormal, and our Aftercare team as well. Join us next Saturday at midnight Pacific Standard Time, as we will be doing Markham's birthday show live from the studio here. It's going to be an awesome time. You can find us on Spreaker.com, SpacedOutRadio.com, and the Fringe FM, and also on KSVU 90.1, your FM dial. I would like to thank all of our listeners, because without you, there is no S4. And just remember, keep your eyes to the skies.